Right then, friends, we're back inside the building. It is Breakfast with KXVU here on Trickstar Radio. Massive shouts out to Slim Kofi for the last half an hour or so. It was really good to talk to him, really good to kind of get that conversation in. It was one I was really looking forward to doing. So we're done, and we're moving on to our second interview of the day. Man like Danny, Jaqq, and LSDean are both in the building. How are we doing, my friends?
Come on.
How we doing, lads? How we doing? This is the first time I've done a three-way call in this studio as well, so hopefully everything sounds nice and crispy. How are you both feeling this morning?
Go on, dude, mate. You go first, fella.
Yeah, I'm good, man. Excited to get into this conversation.
Awesome, man. Danny, how about yourself?
Yeah, I'm all good. Likewise, excited to talk about some stuff. I feel like a lot of things need to be said in that. But yeah, I'm all good.
Awesome, man. Well, it's good to have you both on the line, and obviously thank you for coming on the show this morning. As I said, we've got a lot of stuff to discuss. Before we kind of get into the main sort of topic of today, I wanted to kind of briefly touch on the event that took place over the weekend. Danny, how did everything go?
Oh yeah, no, it's really good, man. I mean, obviously we had a few hiccups on the way and stuff, and then obviously we had a performer not show up. I had no contact stuff, so that kind of brought a downer on things. But what did go down was really good. So Marlo stepped in and freestyled drunkenly against JB, who just spat his material for A, and that was hilarious in his own way, But then obviously Frankie vs Tony was incredible. So I'm glad that the main event went down as well as I had imagined it, better than I imagined actually. So yeah. Big up everyone if you're listening that donated and stuff, and donations still open on CRBLM donate@gmail.com. Right now we've raised quite a lot as well, more than I expected. So yeah, I'm happy with it.
Awesome, man. Well, I think the kind of energies and stuff were resonating around the internet. We've seen a lot of kind of powerful pictures come out of the event as well. I've seen one picture of Tony, which is like quite iconic to look at, and a couple of other bits as well. So kind of with that, then obviously today's topic is going to be it's going to be battle related, and it's going to be quite an interesting one. So I want to kind of pass it over to you guys in regards to the discussion, because obviously it's I more want to kind of give you guys the platform to kind of discuss things on, rather than me kind of say Q&A sort of style. I want you to be able to kind of talk quite freely on things. So what's the main topic for today?
Do you want to take it, Dean, or shall I?
Yes, just kind of talking about LGBTQ plus representation in hip hop and in battle rap in particular. Okay, cool.
Yeah. So what's the kind of spark behind today's conversation then? What's happened recently?
Well, myself, I'm going to speak for myself, I can't speak for so I came basically off the back of something that happened. I decided I'm like LSDean said, the LGBTQ community is not quite represented well in hip hop, and there's always been a stigma around it. And the last time someone came out was Toucan in battle rap, and it wasn't received well. So I think with that happening years ago and getting received negatively or mocked, I do believe that a lot of people, for either because they just don't want that private life out in the spotlight with their battle persona or in their music persona or whatever, or they were worried about getting the same sort of reaction. But then there was a battler, you know what, it's terrible, I can't remember his name, but there was a battler from Wales.
Rubik's.
That's it, Rubik's. So he came out as gay, I believe, didn't he? Yeah, so yeah, he came out and then he got a lot of positive reaction and stuff, and it to me it showed progression in the scene itself. So a lot of people showed love, and I'm like, oh bro, this is sick. And then I guess I'll take the pass on to you, bro, because
yeah, so actually, it was interesting that morning. Me and Danny literally had a discussion about why no one actually comes out, and because I mean, even if you want to say that because of some of the content in the scene, there's probably less LGBT people who are attracted to the scene. There's still going to be some, but in terms of actual people who were out, you could count on one hand in a scene of thousands of people. So we were discussing why no one does it, and I was kind of inspired by Rubik's that day, and I was just like, you know what, I'm just going to come out, because I guess me and Danny's platform is slightly bigger.
Yeah.
So, and also it just kind of we came to the conclusion that it's going to take a lot of people coming out and it not being a big deal.
Yeah.
And just having someone there to stand up and be like, because like since I've come out, like bare people have hit me up like, yo, I'm not going to come out, but same boat, was always worried about it.
I've had the same as well.
So kind of with that then, do you both kind of feel that you're now in a position where almost like you're trying to be the people that bridge the gap to an extent and kind of be the people that kind of allow, as you say, it to become like not a big deal and become the norm, as it well should be, for kind of people of different kind of orientation to be able to basically be completely free in a battle rap scenario?
I mean, not intentionally.
That's a lot of pressure.
yeah. I'm not trying to be like an activist or anything like that. You know what I mean? But I do feel like what me and I don't call you Dean or Nat. But what me and Nat did was it's obviously helped the scene, because as Nat said, like our platforms are bigger. Across the board, like especially with LSDean over in Manchester and Premier Batters and stuff, and then myself down here in down south with Code Red, and then the bridge between those two things, it covers a lot of ground, so a lot of people saw what happened, like a lot. So I guess with what we did, and which to us it's like, well, to myself, I'll speak for myself, it was scary. Once I did it, I was like, oh, that's done now, and then I didn't really. It's not something I like constantly think about or just speak about, but obviously to a lot of people in the scene, like that, obviously hit us up privately and stuff. It's like it helped them, and so I guess in a way, the bridge is being gapped by what happened.
Definitely, man. I think kind of with this though, just to kind of interject before we carry on, I think it does take someone to kind of. It's almost like a kind of snowball effect, I feel, and it takes someone to be realistically as brave as you can be in this sort of scenario, to kind of basically go, you know what, I'm not really happy with not being able to say who I am, really, and I feel with that it's very important that first almost stone is thrown, that first kind of brick is laid, and from there. As you've said, you've had a lot of people inboxing you, and you've had a lot of people kind of saying that they're not really in a position to kind of come out themselves, but they are now feeling a lot better about the fact that they aren't alone in this. Like, did you both kind of feel to an extent that prior to this that there were that you may have been alone?
Not some. I always got the sense, but it was kind of just like it was kind of just like a thing of just because again, on the last point, it's like I was a person who wasn't really even out, so it was like I didn't really know what being LGBT even really meant. You know what I mean? So it's like I don't know. It was like I wasn't even really sure of the identity itself, so I couldn't really speak on it, and that was just kind of confusing. And then it was just like, well, in the scene, any form of weakness is going to get torn apart just because that's kind of your job to do.
Of course. Like, kind of with that then, like, have you... I mean, I don't know if either of you have kind of battled since, but are you kind of expecting that as an angle?
Yeah.
I was gonna is it something you're almost like, it's, if it doesn't happen, it's gonna be almost like, it's almost gonna be a bit bizarre if it doesn't.
Yeah, I came out as pansexual. You can imagine the pan jokes that I'm gonna get. You know, I've had millions just by friends and on Facebook. So imagine when someone has 3 months to write that stuff. But it's fine. I don't really care.
I mean, I like Dean, LSDean, Nathaniel. How about yourself on that one?
I've been called Nathaniel about 3 years. I was kind of worried. I was like, what have I done?
This is the thing. For those that aren't aware, we've got two people who are on the phone, both called Dean, so it's going to get a bit confusing. So I'll go Nat. That's what we'll say. We'll say Nat.
Yeah. I'm expecting it, but my thing is just like, I'll try and pick my battles very carefully. I kind of feel like the best strategy right now is to just battle someone who's going to use it a lot. You know what I mean? And then after that, it's done. It's just ripping the plaster off.
I suppose, that's an interesting way of looking at it because if people follow battle rap, they'll know like everything is about, as you said, trying to find a perceived weakness about someone and basically turning a crowd into thinking that the topic they're discussing is in fact a weakness about you. And obviously there's obviously a ton of stigmatism and there's a ton of kind of almost like, well, not almost, very unjust kind of prejudice already within hip hop in regards to kind of LGBTQ communities as a whole. I find it really difficult to say that quickly. I've got to say, it's a phrase that's difficult to say quickly. But kind of with that, how do you think this kind of extends to hip hop as a whole? Like in regards to, do you think this happening within kind of battle rap circles could then almost cause like a chain reaction within UK hip hop as a whole?
I honestly think that hip hop is kind of further ahead.
Yeah, definitely.
Like at least in the new wave, there's a ton of representation. Maybe not so much in the UK. I think in the UK it's still a little bit more underground, but certainly worldwide. Like you got so many larger artists right now who are getting put on. Like I mean, Brockhampton broke through, and like Brockhampton were like propelled by the LGBTQ plus community.
Yeah. FFSY though as well is openly raps about being LGBT and stuff. So like in rap outside of battle rap, I think it's a way more progressive than battle rap is.
Okay, cool. Why do you think that is though? Why do you think that battle rap is almost behind? I want to say behind with this.
Have you heard battle rap?
I mean, I have. I don't know. There's the thing that I'm sure there are plenty of listeners who haven't.
You know what? I forgot we're on radio and not just on the phone. Like obviously, I think it's like the content for years and years and years, like the drop, like constant dropping of the F-bomb years ago, and then just like general reactions to like actual genuine LGBT people, and like I think just people in the community itself. It's I mean, battle rap is quite not outdated, but it's like quite a old school like thing.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's like I feel like fans and battlers have very different perceptions of it, because there's a lot of fans who just like seem to view battle rap as this place that you can say anything and do anything, and it's supposed to be about insulting. Whereas battlers really, really don't like that or care about that.
Yeah. No, definitely not.
I mean, obviously, both speaking as people who have been involved in this scenario for quite like an extended period of time now. Like you're both very established within the UK. You know everyone. You've been to a lot of the events. Like you know the camera people. Like you're both people who are very very much involved. Like with this, like obviously moving kind of forward. Are you expecting a lot more people to start coming out in the near future?
You know what? It's honestly up to them. I don't think it's something that people should feel pressure to do. I mean, I hope that no one's hiding, and they like come out to their friends or like their family at least. Like I'd always want to do that.
Yeah.
But, like I don't expect anyone to like do. Well, the thing is, what LSD, Nathaniel LSD, whatever your name is. But you're coming out with just quick, boom, done. You know what I mean? Whereas when I did it, I wrote like a long post and stuff, which was alcohol infused. But it was like because I was sat it, I was like bugging out. I was talking to my girlfriend about it, and she was like motivating me to just do it as well. And then obviously Nathaniel did, like when Nathaniel came out, I was like, bro, he can do it, Rubik's can do it. Then what's the point in like trying to hide and like?
Yeah, I do want to clarify that, like, because I feel like a lot of people said this, and it's like, battle rap is a very, very small part of my life, but it's a part of your life that you kind of always have to be on your toes. And like, one of the main reasons I came out is because like I was sick of like not being able to show that side of myself in public and on my social medias. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like, man, if you asked me, I would have told you. Like, there's bare people in battle rap that knew that I was bisexual, just because they actually asked me. But I was sick of like not being able to tweet about going on a date with a lad. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
Like things like that were just like I was hiding a part of myself from my public social media and stuff like that because I was afraid someone's gonna do research and see this and it's gonna be a whole thing.
Yeah.
I mean, sorry, Dave, I've interrupted you there. Go on.
I was to say, and then like with me, like not one soul knew. I kept it from like everyone. And then the first person I told was my girlfriend, and then it just sort of like spiraled out there. And like you said, battle rap is such a small world, but in my life, it's a massive part of it because I'm always involved in it. So in the same way, I was like, you know what? If I'm gonna just now one person knows, and then like I told a few other friends, I was like, no, I'm like, you know what? I might as well just say it because that way, then like family, like because I put on Facebook. Like, and I've got people that follow me from battle rap, but I've also got extended family, and then extended onto that extended family, and old friends and everything like that. So I was like, it's like branching over everyone. So it's like, boom, look, this is me now. Do with that information what you wish, and then that was it. I was done.
Nice, man. I mean, the thing is, when I've seen stuff, it's just made me happy that you've felt comfortable enough and been in a position where you are able to kind of, well, essentially come out and be very kind of open with people and it not be like something you're keeping within yourselves anymore, which is something that I see as always as an amazing thing. So kind of with that then. What are you how's the kind of future looking for you just in general? Because obviously I'm assuming this isn't really going to be affecting, it's not really going to be affecting your lives too much because it doesn't really change anything about who you are, but more just to kind of round things up and kind of look at your sort of future plans within battle rap. Like what's on the way for the pair of you?
I'm a smoke Georgie Roots. I'm Mac, bro. That's my next plans, bro. Whether I'm pansexual or not, them man are getting smoked. Yeah, like my orientation ain't got nothing to do with the level of smoke they're catching.
I mean, kind of with that then. I mean, obviously you're both people that are still very much involved in battle rap, looking forward. So obviously, Nat, like with yourself, have you got stuff on the way? Have you got clashes booked in? Like, how's the future looking?
Yeah. I got one in Ireland next year. Got the big Apex 2 at the end of the year, and then I may have one or two little surprises.
Jeez.
Dotted before that, get the warm up in before the big event.
Nice,
I'm looking
man.
forward to Apex, man. Apex 2 is going to be dope.
Oh, mate, an entire wave. They shouldn't have got, like, every single person on that card I know is a sessioner.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why'd they put on the second day? It's terrible. Terrible stuff.
So sorry, Karen, David, Karen.
I was just gonna make a joke and just say like on day 2 they got me, Frank, Shuff, me, Frank, yourself, Major. It's gonna be levels, bro. It's gonna
levels.
Wicked, man. Like so,
I could as well.
I mean, with that, just to kind of move things forward, then, how have you found, obviously, the thing of events not being able to take place over the past few months? Like, have you missed it?
Oh god, yeah, man. When I did the BLM event yesterday, not yesterday, what day was it? Saturday.
This guy.
On Saturday, I was like, there was only like 20 people there, and there was all people I know personally, like no fans came, just my friends and other rappers. But it was just so good to like you'll see the footage. I'm like reacting like a 6-year-old child, bro, like to every bar. But yeah, I do miss the events, and I'm hoping by December we can have like big crowds again because that would be so good, man. Well,
actually, I feel like lockdown kind of had a factor in a lot of people coming out because it was just like when you're in lockdown, you're like looking forward to going out of it, but you're also thinking like, oh, I don't want to go back to that. You know what I mean? Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. We had a lot of time to sit and think.
A lot of time, but I think it's a good thing, man. I think more than anything, this is a positive that has come out of obviously this very difficult sort of period of kind of human times, realistically.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Most definitely, guys. Well, we've nearly run out of time this morning, so I wanted to say thank you for coming on the show and obviously having this discussion and obviously kind of relaying a lot of information and a lot of like the feelings and thoughts that you guys have had on things. So obviously the platform is always open to the pair of you, as you both well know. So enjoy the rest of your day. Before we do finish up, though, I want to know what's the best place for people to get hold of you on socials.
At Jaqq on Instagram, at Danny Jaqq on Twitter. Danny Jaqq on Facebook, and then Google, man, innit?
And Nat, what about yourself?
I'm at //dead on the Twitter, //dead on the Instagram. Don't hit me up on Facebook. My mum's on there.
All right then, guys. Well, it's been, as I said, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on. Thank you for jumping on the line. And obviously, we'll keep talking, and we'll speak soon.
Yeah, man.
Amazing stuff.
Love, bro.
Lovely
Cheers
stuff.
for having us on.
Awesome stuff. Right then, friends, we are live on Trickstar Radio right about now. We are going to move into the final tunes of the show. We're going to get into some J-Hus with Burna Boy on this one, going by the name of Play Play. Wicked tune off Big Conspiracy. Following that, we are going to get into some Mirror May as well before we do finish up today. Don't go anywhere. Keep it locked. If you are locked in, make sure you do go and grab the Trickstar Radio app. It's available via the App Store and, of course, Google Play. And while you're there, head on to YouTube and hit subscribe on youtube.com/CubCamTV. We're in the building, people. Keep it locked.